finding a good business with the good help is extremely difficult. And when you find those people, you latch onto them and you stick with them.
All right, welcome back to this episode. Today, I have some special guests with me that I'm going to introduce. Tim Dugan. He's a partner with Servecraft, and Palmer Stoll, who is a marketing and social media associate with them as well. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey, Brad, thanks for having us.
Perfect. Well, so right off the bat, everybody should know, this is not uncommon. I get a lot of guests from TikTok. And so I saw one of your companies post on how you onboard your new associates, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show. But before we get into all of that, Tim, why don't you just give us kind of a 30,000 foot view of what you guys do, like Servecraft, the whole thing. Just give us a quick little snippet of who you are and what you guys do.
Yeah, so there's a core group of us that started Servecraft not that long ago. We all were sort of started from the ground up working in entry-level positions. We worked our way up and found ourselves in a position to start a series of businesses where we had a chance to build the partnerships that we had always enjoyed while we were coming up. And so we launched Servecraft, service and craftsmanship together, to house mechanical, electrical, and plumbing companies, to focus on the service, the craftsmanship, the trades, the people behind it, and being the best partner we can be to our customers. And that's sort of the underlying ethos we go with the whole thing. So I originally grew up out on the West Coast, moved all around, have some college. Some of the other guys do, some of the other ones don't. But we all sort of came up in different ways and used the combined experiences to try and make the best group of companies we can.
Awesome. And so Servecraft is, we were talking off camera before we started, but it's like a parent company. You have 6 or 7 other companies underneath you.
So right now it's just 3. It's
okay. I don't know where
umbrella for the M, E, and the P. But yeah, parent company focused mostly on making sure that processes are in place and sort of that management side of it, getting all that stuff built, and then also providing the sort of leadership vision for how things should go, and being able to connect the different businesses and their customers, and sort of provide one of the hard things with entrepreneurship and running a business is not getting down in the weeds too much and having that 30,000 foot view. Mm-hmm. And so Servecraft is really there to be that 30,000 foot view of the MEP industries, the trades, skilled workers, and help each one of those businesses in their own little sectors succeed.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. So, Palmer, you are the social media and marketing expert. I'm assuming you're the one that's recording all of the TikTok videos that are being posted. What's kind of like, what all do you kind of do in the company? Just give everybody kind of an idea.
I do anything. I mean, the onboarding videos have really taken off. So I've been very on every onboarding we do and kind of help prep for all of those. But I do anything marketing related. I do, branding. I've designed logos. I've, done case studies. I've done anything really marketing related for all the companies.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And how long has Servecraft been established?
We started it up at the end of last year. So we had some other businesses that sort of ebbed and flowed, had a couple shots, and learned some lessons the hard way. Learned some great lessons and decided that after a few years of running sort of all the trades out of a single business, it was better to separate them out and really focus and hone in on the strengths of each individual trade company. So we sort of wrapped up what we were working on previously, formed Servecraft, and then started building the businesses under those. Okay,
I got you. And so the company that I saw the video for that you were posting was Crown Mechanical, which is, I'm assuming, a mechanical. You guys do mechanical services. Yeah. Where is that located? Where's that company at?
We're all in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Okay. So everyone's local.
Yep.
Makes it nice and easy for local visits and all that stuff, management wise.
Yeah.
So you have Crown Mechanical, which is that mostly commercial, or do you guys do
Yep. Yeah.
residential?
So we're all commercial.
Okay.
It's our bread and butter. It's who we like to work with, and the type of service we like to provide. So we got Crown Mechanical, we have Premier Commercial Plumbing, and then Carolina Voltage.
Okay, so you got the three trades covered there then.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So back to the reason for this call, and that was, or for this episode here, is that you guys had posted a video on TikTok of a new employee coming in on his first day of starting his new job there, and you had a full spread out of gear and all kinds of things. Take us through a little bit, just kind of we'll start out high and then maybe we'll get in the weeds on some of it, but just kind of start with what's a normal onboarding like overall for a new employee with the companies.
What is like the blow by blow? Like, what does the day look like?
Well, I mean, like the first day, are you just getting them, here's all your stuff, or like just kind of give us an overview, like a 30,000 foot view of what that might look like?
Yeah, so the swag table is a big part of it, and that was something I actually don't come from the trades at all. So this was all very interesting for me to learn. Sort of the inspiration of the video because this seems to be a big deal that we're doing this much for onboarding, and maybe we should film that and let people see it. So yeah, the swag table. We like to let people feel prepared going into the job. Reading comments on that post and other posts we have, it seems like a lot of people are in this industry are thrown into jobs with just like a t-shirt and nothing else. So I think the driving vision is to make people feel incredibly well prepared. They've met other team members. They've had a good sit down with the GM, maybe looked at a PowerPoint of like, this is the company, this is the structure that we have, this is what's expected. This is the tools we're, want to make sure you're going in with tools. We've given you PPE, safety stuff. What else? What am I missing?
So yeah, let's see. Anyone listening to this podcast knows how difficult it is to find and keep good help.
Yes.
And from my personal background as an operator, finding a good business with the good help is extremely difficult. And when you find those people, you latch onto them and you stick with them. So we spent a lot of time trying to figure out a way that we could prove to our team that and we take team very literally. Team partnership, like we are in this together, it is side by side. There is not anybody who will not do someone else's job in the organization. So how can we show our team and our new hires, people who don't know us, who haven't had the chance to be around us, that when we say we've got your back, we mean it? How can we be open, honest, and transparent about what the job entails, and the things that we're going to ask of you, and how you communicate and work with your team, and exert a certain level of respect? We show that respect forward by saying we believe in you, we trust you. Here is a memento of that. Here's a pretty friggin' awesome set of uniforms, gear, and all the stuff. And I love it because every one of them is like Christmas. You open it up and you're just like, oh man, this stuff is so sweet. You get to put it out, make it all look nice. And then it's just incredibly rewarding when you see the results of them onboarding and get the videos from Palmer and you see the look on their faces. You talk to them the days coming later. It's just like, it's the hook we found to let the team sort of get 6 months ahead, to let that guard down, to be like, are these guys out to get me? I don't know. Is this the right place? Do I want to be here? It's like, no, man, you want to be here and we want you here. And here's how we're going to prove it to you.
Like, make people feel valued on their first day.
I love it. You said that, like, kind of get 6 months ahead. Like let's be real. Like anytime you start something new, you're kind of, you're guarding your emotions, you're guarding your thoughts and all that. And, am I going to fit in here? And so I don't want to, maybe it's not the right way to say it, but in a way you're kind of buying that
Yeah.
easy access into that emotional, connection, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. So that's interesting. So, I mean, obviously, and we can get into it here in a minute, but obviously you want to make sure you have the right candidate, right? There's a lot of pre-screening that goes on. Like when they're walking in the door on that first day, you're pretty solid. Like you're pretty confident it's going to be a good employee. Obviously, we don't ever know for sure, but pretty confident. And then you're investing in them from day one. I love the term swag table, where you have all these different tools and gear. And I think one I saw you like giving them boots too. Is that right? You give them work boots. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cushy insoles.
Yeah. Nice set of work boots. So does that ever backfire though? Like if you give someone all of that stuff and then like a week later they quit, has that ever happened or?
Yeah, it's happened. There's the adage, hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
We try really hard to make sure we're making the best decision up front, but not every situation is going to be the perfect fit for every person. So there have been times where we've had somebody come in and it just wasn't the right fit in the team, and we found another opportunity for them somewhere else in the portfolio, or it just didn't work out and we were all able to sort of shake hands. Yeah, it doesn't work out sometimes, but we're focused on the longer term of the businesses and the teams. So the hit on whatever uniform stuff, like it's water under the bridge. It's just a cost of what we're trying to do.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're just averaging out. I mean, if 1 out of 30 doesn't work out, that's not going to break the bank per se with buying all that stuff. So,
yeah, and then it leaves us with 29 amazing people.
Right. I was listening to a podcast. This was many, many years ago, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he was in South Florida, built a heating and air, mostly residential from the ground up. And I think when I heard him on the podcast, he had like over 200 employees. I mean, built a significant company.
Yeah.
But he was saying that like he had to go through over 2,000 candidates to find those 200 that he currently had. And I don't mean like applications. I mean like people that he hired.
Mm-hmm.
He, had hired over 2,000 people to get down to that core 200 and something that he currently had that were solid employees. Have you guys kind of figured out how to narrow down to the right employee, like certain characteristics, certain personality traits where you can kind of say, this is going to be a pretty good shot. This is going to be a good employee.
Yeah. So we push really hard on referrals. If you're willing to stick your neck out for somebody, that goes two ways. Referrals, that's big for us. We also ask a lot of maybe sort of unconventional questions during interviews. There's where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Right.
But then really understanding, does the person know what that looks like? Like to say, hey, I want to be a superintendent. All right, well, tell me more about why you want to be in superintendent. Is it just because you want to be the boss of other people and you think that the workload is less? Or is it because you are hungry for a certain thing? And then what is that thing? And so understanding the motives behind where people want to go, we want people in the organization who have somewhere they want to get to. People who are sort of stagnant in life, happy with where they're at is awesome. And that's worthy of congratulations. But as an organization, that's not what we're doing. We're building, we're acquiring, and we're growing. And we want people who share that personally as well as professionally. So when we're interviewing candidates and talking about them, we want to know, like, what are your hopes and dreams? And some people are comfortable sharing that, and some aren't. And sometimes you can get some other little tidbits into the soul. I see something there. We'll bring them on. We also do quite a few rounds of interviews, make sure that you get in front of different people within different parts of the organization. And it's just a very collaborative discussion on, like, is this the right person? And are the people who are saying yes, are you willing to stand by that? And if it turns into they weren't the right fit, either working with them to see, like, okay, where did we judge incorrectly? Or make the move and just say, this wasn't the right home for you.
Gotcha.
Or if there's a legitimate issue, like, have we fixed it? Like, has someone brought up something that we have been totally blind to? In which case, thank you very much, and let's get it fixed ASAP.
And that's, obviously exit interviews are really important for that, to get that feedback on that. So do you know roughly, like, kind of with people that are applying, like what kind of conversion rate you're getting with hiring? You may not know that number. I was just kind of curious.
No, it's not a specific number. I would say if we get 20 applications in for a role, we will probably interview 4. Take it down to 4 for an in-person, and then make a choice from there. We have a member on staff who does sort of the phone screening. We'll look through everyone's social media accounts just when you send it in. It's as much about who you are as a person as the skills you have.
Hey, just a quick time out from the show. If you're a frustrated contractor who's dealing with low profit margins, stuck working on the tools every day, or doing free estimates for people who are never going to hire you in the first place, I invite you to my private contractor community, the Profit Club, where contractors just like you are adding 2 to 3 times more profit each year without producing any more jobs, and finally getting completely off the tools to never do another free estimate again. So if you're ready to increase your profits, stop doing free estimates, and get off the tools, then all you have to do is click the link in the show notes to learn more about the Profit Club and see how I can easily 2 to 3 times the cash in your pocket, give you a proven sales process that will convert more jobs with ease and get you off the tools once and for all. And the best part is you can do all of this without having to produce more jobs than you currently are. Click the link to learn more. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah, the term I like is, hire for character, train for skill, right?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Obviously, some positions you got to have some skill, right?
Yeah.
But, it's funny you said that. I was laughing because that's whenever I would hire someone, the first thing I would do, like as soon as I got their application, I'd go to Facebook and see if they had a profile,
Yeah.
And if your profile picture is you, flicking off the camera, or drinking a beer bong or something, or all kinds of crazy political posts on there, I'm like, okay, you're not going to fit our culture.
Yeah. Well, how many beer bong pictures is okay? Is one okay? Like, what's the cutoff here?
Yeah.
One's okay with me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, joking around a little bit about some of that, and then you don't want to like get crazy with it,
Yeah.
but still, you can tell really quick, is this person going to be a problem? Are they going to be
feels
calling
like a necessary
sick on
step at this point.
What's that?
Sorry,
Palmer?
it feels like a necessary step at this point. It's part of the application process.
Absolutely, and even on and I talk with my clients, like even on the residential side, if you're probably more so for smaller companies, but if you are going to hire like a bathroom, contractor, remodeling contractor, your clients are also social proofing you. Like they're also finding out who's the owner of the company and then going to the owner's Facebook page. Like it's not uncommon, probably more in residential than commercial or industrial, but people are going to social proof you. And it blows my mind that some people have all of that, out there on the internet for everyone to see clear as day.
It's crazy. It's crazy. People don't understand the internet's forever, and anybody can see your page of your shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, the phrase that always stuck with me is like, live your social life as if you're going to run for president one day, and all of the stuff that you did is going to come to light. Like everything you post is going to come back to light. So, back talking about marketing and stuff, Palmer, how much have you found with the TikTok and all that? How much do you guys use social media to help recruit for recruiting purposes?
We initially set out for that to be a part of the puzzle. Is that's part of the audience we were trying to target is, folks who would potentially want to work for, one of the businesses, one of the companies. And I think it wasn't until the onboarding posts really, picked up, which I think for Crown Mechanical, that was the first post I posted on our TikTok, was that Troy's onboarding. Really? Yeah, it immediately went viral. So I think we weren't anticipating that becoming such a big part of social media, but it has with those posts. I posted an onboarding video for our commercial electrical business, and they got tons and tons and tons of applications, and I'm constantly in the comments directing people to career pages on our websites and email our talent acquisition person here if you're interested. It's was always something we kept in mind, but I didn't think we knew at the time how big a piece it would play. The onboarding really attracts people, and people from all over, people from other countries that are like, please sponsor me. Can I come over from Ireland and come work for you guys? It's really been remarkable to see, especially somebody coming again from not necessarily the industry, like how impactful this is, how special this is for people, how rare it is for a company to have an onboarding to this extent.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it caught my eye. It sounds like it was kind of like a Bob Ross happy little moment for you guys, where you didn't fully understand the impact it would have as a recruiting tool.
Well, I think we were successful in like that particular video, and Troy, like, gem of a human being.
Yes,
like, absolutely, just love him to bits. So internally, we're like, yeah, okay, we set out to do something, to accomplish a goal, and we did. Like, this is amazing. The public reception to it, I think we had been in our own sort of just like echo chamber sphere of like, okay, how can we do things better? Let's do things better this time than the last time and step forward. And so when you put something like that just out into the open, and you get such a massive positive response, and you're just like, oh crap, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Which then encourages us to do it more. And yeah, it's absolutely turned into something that we broadcast and share and say, hey, check us out. And it's a little unconventional, but people love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it was fantastic. That's the reason I wanted to have you on the podcast, was because of that. It's one thing to like, and you can tell in the video, like, you didn't set this up. Like, this wasn't a setup for you to get some kind of popularity contest votes. It was a genuine, you guys were genuinely documenting the first day for them. But I think that it's not that you're the only company that, gives their employees swag on the first day, right? Like, that's not even that either. I think it's just, there's so much of that missed. Like, there's so many companies that don't do that's the norm. The norm is day one. It's like, I'm glad you're here. Go and here's your truck. Here's your keys. We got a job for you to start, right away. Like, get out there and start making us money, like that kind of mindset. And obviously you guys have put a ton of effort, a ton of time, a ton of money into making sure that you're setting your employees up for success on day
100%.
one. And I think a lot of people don't understand that that's what you're doing.
And it's not just the swag and then the afternoon you're in a truck and working. You really don't do work your first day, sometimes not even your second day. It's getting you onboarded, brought in, introduced to the people who you're going to work intimately around, getting you familiar with the team, your workplace, just our clients, our customers, reiterating the things that are important to us and our expectations.
We do lunch. We always do an onboarding lunch, which I think is a good opportunity to be a little more relaxed and have conversations that are a little more not necessarily about work, but like, do you have pets? Do you have kids? What do you like to do? And I think people in the comments also really love the onboarding lunches. I think that's, it maybe seems like a small thing, but I think it's also pretty impactful.
Yeah. And, we let everybody choose. One of our onboarding questions when someone accepts the position is, where do you want to go to lunch?
Yeah.
What's your, this is about you.
Yep.
Your career with us.
We send out an onboarding questionnaire when somebody gets hired. It's in their offer letter and their sort of full package of things, the HR stuff they need to sign. They get this questionnaire that asks their sizes, so we know what sizes to get them of shirts and pants and belts and boots and all the many things we give, but also has, what's your favorite soda? What's your favorite snack? Do you like salty? Do you like chocolate? So that I can compile a little kind of snack board of, they like White Monster Energy. They like beef jerky. Let me make sure that's all here. So we try and add a personal touch too, which I think adds to that sense of you're valued here. We want to know you. We want to care about you.
Well, and it's fun how many people look at that at the end of the day and just sort of leave it there.
Yeah.
And they're like,
is this for me?
You can have it back. Like, no, it's yours. Go take it. Please.
You said you like
you sure?
Yeah.
It's specific to you.
Yeah. So you're sending out a questionnaire then after the job offer is it after they accept the job or like with the job offer letter? How do you do that?
It's usually right after acceptance.
Okay.
So usually the questionnaire and the sort of background check and that stuff all goes out.
That's actually smart. Because I would just have basically the questionnaire was day one. It's like, okay, what's your shirt size? What's your pant size or whatever, and then I'd have to go get that stuff. And if I didn't have it in stock,
Yeah.
No.
We have to go. I have
If
to
I
go
didn't
get
have it
all
in
that
stock, I'd
before.
have to order a shirt, and then they'd have to
Yeah.
wear some, random T-shirt for 3
Yeah,
weeks
exactly.
until the stuff comes in, and it's like that. Obviously that makes a little more sense. Okay, so
Yeah, and again, it's just that's nail on the head, setting them up for success just right out of the gate.
Yep.
You look like part of the team, you feel like part of the team, you're going to be a part of the team.
Yeah. Does anybody have you ever had like a negative reaction to all of that? Like it was just too much
Do you mean in
stuff, or
person or like in?
like an employee, like an
No,
employee on his
as the
first
person
day? Has
who's
you ever had like
filming
a
and who's
negative
always looking for kind of those genuine moments in the day of like, oh, I'm delighted, I'm surprised, or this is so nice. Sometimes I'm a little like, oh, you didn't react as much
Yeah.
as I wanted you to this moment or this table. But, no, I don't think we've ever had anybody be like, no, this is stupid, this doesn't fit.
No, we've had people who initially they're just reserved and sort
aback,
of, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you walk through the door, there's Palmer
Yeah, it
with the
is,
camera
yeah.
in your face and you're getting it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot, especially, in the trades when, as you said, you're used to just sort of getting shoveled in here, sign a few documents.
in the truck.
You're riding with John.
Yeah.
I'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Like this isn't that.
We do try and warn people that they will be. I will be filming them all day their first day, so they're not too.
I was going to ask you that. That was my next question. I mean, do you have like a sign a waiver, or not a waiver, but like permission that like, hey, we're going to film
so it's
you,
just one of the general documents is your photo and video will be taken. It's crucial to the marketing. It's crucial to our company culture. So, everyone's got to be okay with it.
I mean, I think that, and this is one of the reasons I want to have you guys on here is that people that are listening that aren't doing any of this, they're not doing any culture, like essentially you're videotaping a culture of your company,
Exactly,
right? Like what people can expect on their first day, what it's like to work here, which is in and of itself a recruiting tool. But I've had people that are like, well, what if none of my employees want to be recorded? What if they don't want to be on camera? And I'm like, that, that's legit. Some people don't want to be on camera, but that should be part of your like culture and hiring like questionnaires. Like, hey, we're going to film. If you have, if you just absolutely don't want to be on camera, that might be a mismatch. Have you ever ran into that?
100% yes. And a couple instances, particularly early on, we had like employee number 6 somewhere that maybe some expectations weren't super clear. So we sort of buttoned things up after that and made some accommodations. But it's so crucial. I mean, it's not just onboarding, it's company events throughout the year, community events.
New stuff, new trucks, new fleet, warehouse updates, showing people our growth, showing people the company's evolving, expanding. That's all stuff we like to document for ourselves so that we have a record of it, with the end of the year or whatever, but also to show people, to display our growth.
Well, and it goes back to character. Like, are you just wanting to sort of be someone in the background, part of the machine? Cool. There might be a place for that here. Or do you want your buddies to work with? Do you want to call up that guy that you worked with 15 years ago on a site and say, like, man, I found it. Like, this is the group of guys that I've been looking for. I want you to come over here too. When you're in a place that makes you feel that way, generally those reservations of, oh, I don't want to be shy, I don't want to be seen, I don't want to be connected to this, sort of fade out. So we look at any objections internally to say, like, okay, well, why not? Like, what about this aren't you proud of?
Are you witness protection?
And if it's a legitimate thing or just a personal fear, like we'll figure out a way where, we're never going to force somebody to do an interview.
Right.
Or to say, like, hey, I need you to be a talking head for a few minutes.
I try and, as the person who's filming, I try and be pretty aware of the different kind of personalities we have on each team and have a sense of like, okay, this person's great in front of the camera and very relaxed and doesn't mind and will kind of do whatever I ask. This person is less so. This person will kind of stand here for a picture, but isn't maybe going to be quite as involved if we do a whole big TikTok thing. Yeah. I try and maintain kind of an awareness of where everybody's kind of grade values lie along that gradient and try and plan around that a little bit. But yeah, the first day, I think onboarding, it's a lot for people.
Yeah.
Hence trying to give them fair warning.
Yeah. How much, Palmer, how much of your time you spent is around recruiting?
Around like any other, like how much of my content am I building around recruiting?
Yeah, like the marketing that you do, how much of it is like, most of this is for recruiting efforts?
Oh man, half,
At least half,
half,
Okay.
if not more. That's just one audience that we keep in mind, but it's a significant audience that we keep in mind. And I think especially the demographics, looking at our metrics and analytics on TikTok, that age group, kind of younger men that are entering the trades or have started their careers or kind of mid-career, seem to be the folks who are watching our videos. And I try and keep that in mind when I'm filming.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that question because I don't think a lot of companies realize like how much effort should be put into recruiting.
It's a lot.
Like it's a lot. And you're 50% of your time roughly is spent just on recruiting, and you're a full-time marketer. Like now, if you smaller companies that don't have a full-time marketer, that's going to fall on the office manager or the owner or whoever can do it, and that usually just kind of gets pushed to the side. And I'll throw some ads on Indeed, and hopefully that works.
Exactly.
For you guys, what's been like the most successful way of recruiting? Like what type of medium have you used that's worked the best?
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
For both sales and recruiting.
Mm-hmm. We've had lots of folks we've hired that have been very happy with the culture they found and the community they found, and have done exactly that, turned to old friends, old colleagues in the industry and said, hey, it's great over here. If you're somewhere you're not happy, come over. And we've gotten several people that
we've got little cards,
headhunting
cards. The headhunting cards that just like, it's the guy sitting down. It's like, are you unhappy? Like, give us a call.
Yeah. So if we can say, if I have somebody come service my HVAC that isn't, on our team, I can be like, hey, if you look like you're a little bit down, if you're not loving where you're at, here, I work for this company and we're great. Something we always find new ways to kind of weave into our what we do. I don't know, how can we find people that are unhappy and draw them toward this great culture we're building.
So you said that word of mouth and a lot of employee referrals. I'm assuming your employees referring their friends and stuff. I forgot what question I was going to ask. My mind just went blank. It happens every once in a while.
It happens to all of us.
If referrals are like your number one, then why even bother with the social media stuff?
That's a great question. Because it's important to us.
Yeah.
A big thing for us is we don't ever want to close the door when we don't know what's behind it. So,
that's fair.
We're only in the Charlotte area right now, and sort of we got a couple jobs out in a few hours drive, but it won't be too long before there's another branch opening up, and we've got to get some people in over there. Just as much as we as employers look at social media, employees look to see who they're going to work for too. Yeah. And so what Palmer builds is to establish who we are as an employer, who we are as a service provider, to recruiting and customers and clients, both now and then in the future when they look back and just like, this isn't a short-term little thing that we've done once only for the gram. This is integral to who we are.
Right.
And the videos have helped with those people have been working for us and shown, come work here, look at their videos, look at my onboarding video, especially our older kind of seasoned veteran techs that don't totally understand TikTok and are suddenly like a little bit TikTok famous, I think, and are getting calls from old friends across the country saying, I saw you on TikTok. I think they think that's really novel and exciting, and send it on to their friends and say, look at this, we did this, isn't this great? I think it helps.
I agree. I kind of set you up a little bit on that question. I think that even potential customers, like you were saying, when they see the company culture, that makes you more attractive to them as far as a company to hire, because nobody wants to hire a company where the employees hate coming to work every day,
absolutely,
right? Because they're going to end up with a bad experience. So it's hard to quantify, obviously, a lot of that with social media. But I was going to say that it's a good tool that whenever one of your employees is saying, hey, come work where I'm at, just go to their TikTok and you can see how, what we do here in the culture. And then, that's an easy evidence. That's the word I'm trying to look for. It's evidence that you are actually doing what you say that you're doing.
Exactly.
And people can see that. So I know we're getting short on time here. What would you say is the most, like, of all of the recruiting and stuff that you do, the social media, everything you do, what would you say is like the most impactful thing that you do to kind of ensure that continued success in your recruiting efforts?
That's a great question.
That's a good question.
If you can only pick one thing, only one way to recruit people, what would that be?
So keeping our current employees happy and contented, so they continue to spread the good word.
I think for a lot of us, having been in situations in the past where you felt unappreciated, invisible,
Unheard,
unimportant, just a number, statistic, a body.
Yeah.
I mean, just a literal body out there, and like whatever happens, if you're not here, someone like that whole mentality that a lot of construction has. Avoiding that, and then being very intentional and purposeful with knowing our people, and that, what are their specific things, birthdays, hobbies, all the stuff. I think if we were to only do one thing, it would be continuing to know who our people are and making sure that they are taken care of.
I feel valued.
Yeah, it's so it sounds like, if I were to sum it up, it's just being authentically invested in your employees.
Good way to put it.
Not for TikTok, but truly wanting them to have success and help them achieve their goals and all that stuff.
Yep.
So, if I was looking for a job, I would definitely be looking, calling you guys up and seeing if I could come work there, get all that cool swag that you guys post. But no, on a serious note, I do appreciate you guys coming on here. I know that you're busy, and all that you're doing with your company, I think it's fantastic. Keep it up. If somebody was interested in learning, maybe reaching out to learn about what you're doing, what's the best way to do that? TikTok? Or
you can certainly reach out on TikTok. I'm always responding to comments and messages. People are very welcome to Crown Mechanical USA. Crown Mechanical, Servecraft doesn't have a TikTok.
But I would say probably servecraft.com.
Yeah.
That's the website, that's sort of the parent company, again, where we're focused at. It gives some more background on just who we are, and then from there you can see the different companies we've got and get to all their different socials. Have some fun.
Yeah.
So Crown Mechanical is the TikTok account that you
for the mechanical
the
company.
HVAC company,
Yeah.
So each company has their own set, their own Instagram, their own TikTok, their own who's and what's.
Yeah, LinkedIn, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want to check out the video, do you have it pinned on there?
I do. It's the for
account?
Crown Mechanical. Troy is the first one that went viral, is the pinned at the very top. His is a 2-parter actually, so both parts are pinned at the top of the TikTok page.
Perfect. So if you guys are listening to this and you want to see what I would consider to be the gold standard for how you onboard employees, and I know we didn't get into all the weeds and stuff, but if you want to kind of see the gold standard, go to their TikTok, the Crown Mechanical TikTok account. They got the videos are pinned there at the top. You can see them. I love what you guys are doing. I think that, that is, like I said, the crown standard, the gold standard rather, of how you should bring people on. I think it's something that's really, that sets a lot of the people that don't do that, they set themselves up for failure and they don't realize what's really happening. And just kudos to you guys for, the type of culture and environment you guys are building there. And I appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you for reaching out, and we're happy to talk about it. It's great to meet you.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks again for hanging out with us. You know where to find us on the social media platforms. You can just search for the Hammer and Grind podcast. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you pick up my new book, The Contractor Profit Blueprint. There's links in the show notes for that. And remember, guys, until next time, profit is not a dirty word.